Hell, I'm sitting here, so we might as well just come get this over with. I figured out how to do a poll. Yay, me. Let's get into this shit. Hey, y'all. Okay, I've managed to make a poll. I want everybody, as you come in, to participate in said poll. No, you're not losing it, Tracy. I was just sitting here and I was like, you know what? I'm ready to get this over with. Like, this doesn't take any prep to do what I'm about to do tonight. So I figured I might as well come on now. It's out of my normal time, but I just got some shit to talk tonight. And it's gonna, yeah, it is what it is. We're gonna talk all the shit tonight. Wait, whoops, hold on. I know, me too, Chico. Me too. I'm interested to see what people say about this, actually. All right. Peanut Shell, Pika, Cassie, Tracy, Steph, Annabella, Sparrow, Smiles, Chico, Mal, Banana Pug, Lurker, Terry, Tracy, Tia Maria, Stargazer. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should have clarified. Hey, Rockabit. This we're not talking about Betty. We're not talking about Betty in the question of seizing weapons. I should have put a disclaimer in there. We're talking about Seth. We're talking about this motherfucker right here. JLR investigates. Sebastian Rogers, Seth's guns seized, Tennessee. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Betty. So can anybody provide me qualifications of how anybody would have the right without a court order to go in and seize the weapons of Seth Rogers? Tracy, of course he doesn't know it as fact. I'll take him off the screen for a minute. We'll play him in a second, and I'll let you listen to what's being said. Hey, Angie. Hey, KCG. How would without a court order, how would anybody be able to go in and seize these weapons? Sorry, I'm outside. We might have to go in. Yeah, there's no legal advice here whatsoever. Thank you, Pika. Even with a 5150 or a mental health concern, anybody have any knowledge on this? In Tennessee, Annabella, again, does there have to be a court order with it, though? Does there have to be a court order to be able to go in and seize weapons? If they are a threat to themselves or someone else and a mental health concern, Do they have to file for a court order? He did, Melissa. He did. But we know that he has weapons. So he's putting two things together. And now people are running with his guns have been seized in Tennessee. This is the problem here. Because he puts this out there, he's talking about the DV orders of protection that were in California. And because DV orders in California, a lot of times they have to turn in weapons. That's pretty typical. But he lives in another state now. And we know he has access. He has guns. He's talked about that. Pew pews. It's super fucking weird, alpha male. It's super weird. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm highly disappointed with some of you in this chat. I'm not going to name names, but I am highly disappointed because you guys might as well just go sit with BHB, truthfully. Supporting the shit in the rumors that are being spun on Seth Rogers, whether you like him or not, how is that any different than what Betty is doing to Chris and Katie? Can you explain that to me? I've seen a lot of you supporting some of the craziest shit that is being spread on Seth Rogers. Some of the craziest fucking shit with no proof, no basis. And how does contacting his job, a random YouTuber having any access to the parent of a missing child, whether we like him or not, whether he did things to Katie, whether he's using this situation to continue his abuse, how are you guys even sitting and thinking that contacting this man's job is doing any differently than BHB and JLR? How? Oh, I'm going to talk all this shit tonight and piss all you off. So you might as well just buckle up for it because I've seen so many people over there supporting some of this shit. And let me tell you once again, y'all understand what's going on with these TikTokers, right? The TikTok twits. Some of you need to open your fucking eyes and see what's right before you. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to show you what JLR put out here and how the trickle down effect. It's not only BS contacting his job, but getting Foia stuff for his job is no different than the shit that Betty does. No different than the shit JLR does. I see it. They're all just the same. These are games being played. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, whether you like him or not, there is no proof that this man did anything at this point in time publicly to his child or is involved in the disappearance. Same with Chris and Katie. I fight hard for the fact that they're innocent until proven guilty. I'm sure it's fucking to do the same for Seth Rogers. And how dare you motherfuckers make me defend Seth Rogers and what he's doing. And if I find out that any parents are behind contributing to this fucking shit that is being spread out here because of revenge seeking and doing the same thing that Seth is doing to Katie, fuck all of you. Seriously. This is disgusting because at the end of the day, once again, if they're promoting this, which I really highly doubt, but if they are or in cahoots with any of this shit being said about, again, Sebastian's being forgotten about. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Going real life on the parent of a missing child is just that. I don't fucking fuck with Tony, Seth, or any of the people that have been on their teams. Barbecue lady, let me fucking bring you back to reality here for a moment, people. Barbecue lady had a tip line, was one of the first tip lines that didn't direct tip lines or tips to law enforcement, directed them to herself. There's a post on my fucking community wall. Great, wonderful that she's raising money for billboards. But why do you think they're doing that? So she can say, ha ha, Seth Rogers, I'm raising money for your child and going to do something and you're not. That's not about Sebastian. That's about self-serving because you've been wrapped up in the fucking drama since jump. I'm sorry. What? The TikTok twits. That's the fucking first group of them that I started talking about was Barbecue Tammy V. You can go back to my first videos and see where I'm talking about those people. Great. Do you know how many kids are out here missing besides Sebastian? And to do a one-up because you have drama with the people that you aligned yourself with and started a tip line to direct tips to you instead of law enforcement, you're part of the problem. Yeah. And now to raise money to do billboards for a serving narrative, it's not about Sebastian. It's about a self-serving narrative. That's fucking gross. Alpha, it has nothing to do with the light video of why they're going back and forth with Seth. They're making Seth a victim. It's content. It's a content farm. This is content farm. This is how they keep content moving. It's drama. Somebody comes out here and says one thing, they're going to up it for another thing. It feeds the algorithm and keeps it going, and it entertains all of you guys. Bobby. Okay, let's get into this video. Hey, everybody coming in, and thank you for partaking. Oh, they absolutely are, Anyaka. They're going. People are out here attempting to Foia his job, his work records, making implication that he might be smoking pot. Well, fuck, if I had a missing child, I probably would want to be numb too. God forbid. Again, what he does with his personal life, his job, he's got a missing child. I give the same grace to Katie and Chris. Yes, they're working. I don't fucking, you don't have to like these people to see right is right and wrong is wrong. Grimy motherfuckers. Cynthia, and that's all they're doing is deflecting. Alpha, I don't see what they see in the light video whatsoever. Not anywhere close. But I can see how it's gotten there. B Tim, yeah, we knew this was going to go this way, but a lot of people are part of the problem. A lot of people are a part of the problem. Okay, I want you to hear what he's talking about.
Good afternoon, everyone. JLR Investigates.
Go take a look. For anybody that doesn't quite understand how this works, go pay attention to how this content is working and rummaging through, and who's the lead and who's ciphering information. What am I talking about? Ciphering?
That's a big one.
Where did I just make that out of my ass? I can't. What?
Thesaurus?
No. I tried to put siphon and deciphering into one word right there. Yeah. That was pretty amazing. That didn't work. That fell flat. Okay, let's try that again. If you want to see who is funneling, siphoning the content and the misinformation through, don't ask. As soon as I said it, I was like, where the fuck did I get that? Like deciphering, and yeah. We're just going to go with my made up words today, okay? We're going with it. Go look and see the flow and who's connected to who, and watch how it flows through. You can watch this circle jerk through on every side. JLR and his side of things and his little offshoot group. And what they're doing is they're posturing against Betty. So Betty comes out, says one thing, they come out and up it. Betty comes back with something, they come out with something else. They're not saying each other's names. Well, Betty's saying their names. But this is all that they're doing. Then Spanky comes out. Then other people run off of Spanky. Then you have the lights video, and that's being ran through. You can watch how this goes, but it's happening on pro Proudfoot side, which is weird, and pro Seth side. There shouldn't be sides. This should have been about Sebastian, but all these distractions continue to happen, and we're going to talk about it all. Okay.
We're going to have a good live. I think this is going to be a really, really good live.
Amazing live filled with misinformation.
Very thought-provoking. I think it's going to trigger some sides and different factions in this case. But at the end of the day, I think when you leave this chat after this live, you're going to be scratching your heads a little bit more.
Yeah, I was scratching my head after I left that live because I was sitting there laughing my fucking ass off that this motherfucker 6 months in is now trying to act like he wasn't a huge foundational piece in the misinformation. But go on.
We're talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, and we're going to share a lot today. Going to bring Magnolia in the chat. There's a lot of interesting things with this case, and at the end of the day, Sebastian has still not been found. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, February 26, 2024. TBI, FBI, Sumner County Sheriffs, and multiple law enforcement agencies are involved in this case. $50,000 reward on the flyer. They say for a fact that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers disappeared February 26, 2024. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at. I see a lot of people in the chat. But for real, though,
well, of course, there's going to be a lot of people in there with that type of clickbait.
this is going to be a very, very good live, I think, because we're taking a deep, deep dive. We're going back to the beginning. We've been analyzing for probably the last 48 hours. I've been sitting back analyzing every single interview that the parents, both sides, Seth, Chris, Katie, all the interviews that they've given from this case from the beginning, man. And it definitely has my head scratching. It definitely takes me down different rabbit holes, and it definitely has me going, But we're trying to get an understanding here. What happened? Like, literally, what happened to this boy? Like, how did this boy just vanish out of thin air from his Stafford court home, living with Katie
I'm speeding him up.
Proudfoot, who was apparently alone in the house with Sebastian, right? Chris Proudfoot's working 250 miles away. A lot of this information you know, but I'm just recapping.
If you are on replay and this is too fast for you, please toggle down and bump your speed down to 0.5, 0.75.
I mean, how in the world did this boy just disappear like that? Seth was supposedly working at a job in Nashville downtown at the department or the corrections, the county jail there, and Sebastian just went missing. And
so JLR just asked his chat the other day for anybody that lived in Tennessee for them to Foia Seth's work records, just so you guys are aware too. Seth, his work records. The parent of a missing child. I fucking hate you motherfuckers that I'm coming out here having to defend this shit. I really hate you fuckers for this, because how grimy are you that you have to do this and you can't just let things play out and go through the motions of the court. You have to one up it and make Betty a victim, make Seth a victim again. I mean, he is a victim, but I can't stand you motherfuckers that are supporting this dumb shit.
What I want to say about this case, though, is like for the first week, no one really knew about this case unless you were local and unless you were around the Stafford court home.
What did Revival say?
She's acting like she's paying attention to her husband.
Sumner County, seeing all the heavy law enforcement presence. But really, if you weren't from locally, you really didn't know about this case until like almost a week into this. And then the timeline of things started happening. The Proudfoots came out and put the information out there. They gave an exclusive interview. Seth followed after them and gave an interview. And then, we heard things about a landfill being searched. And then we hear about lights being flashed. And then Seth starting searches at that point, public searches, and all this stuff from that point on.
Alpha male. Yes. Yes. I'm so glad that we're seeing eye to eye on this shit. Seriously. Like, I'm sure people are kind of shocked by how pissed I am about this. You're going to hear me say some shit tonight that you might be shocked by. But fuck all these people. There is no evidence. Let me start this off by saying once again that there is no evidence that Chris, Katie, or Seth are involved in the disappearance of Sebastian. Sebastian needs to be found. I'm not a true crime channel. The rest of these channels that I'm going to be talking about claim to be true crime. Can't claim to be the best in the game. They claim to be smarter than everybody else. They claim to be the hottest, the best, the most up and coming. Fucking crack.
With this case, a lot of twists and turns, it almost gets you busy knowing how wild and crazy. There's a lot of people in the chat, but there is a lot of things to say. And I titled this video, Seth's gun seized. No, this is not clickbait. Seth's guns literally got seized when he was in California. And I wanted to title that because I wanted to draw it to your attention here about things that transpired back in California, right?
Years ago, right there. He's admitting to you. He clickbaited you in there. But now people, because they don't listen, they popped into this an hour into it and they kind of skirted around this whole topic and didn't really go back and clear up. People are now going chat to chat saying Seth's guns were seized. Seth's guns were seized. Seth's guns were seized. Yes. In California, when there was an RO, a DV RO. This is clickbait. Absolute fucking clickbait. If there's orders and cause for concern, yes, the government can come in and seize weapons. 100%. But a lot of people are going on this whole thing that, they're scanning all of the documents and trying to find court orders against Seth Rogers. That is what is happening now. I have been sent this numerous times today. There's court orders somewhere about Seth. They're probably sealed because they're that bad. The fuck? No. He's talking about shit from years ago.
Between Seth and Katie, right? And it progressed into Tennessee. There's a lot of red flags in this case dealing with these individuals.
Progressed into Tennessee. Did you hear that? Did you hear that part right there? It progressed into Tennessee.
And stuff like that, because my mind is still conflicted here. You know, I am all over the map. I actually communicated, you know, I have I'm not saying I have a team of people, but I got people close to me, and we discuss this case daily. We see what's put out, who's saying what, articles, we dissect this. So I do have a group of people that I work with, you know, offline, and we just continuously try to process this information, come up with theories and speculations, and go down rabbit holes. We do that, right? But I'll be honest, man, today, my mind shifted. My mind shifted back towards Seth, and it can shift. It's subjected to change. It shifts. I still, you know, want to think Katie's the key here, but Katie's the last person to be with Sebastian. I want to think that. But my mind,
this is JLR's, this is his typical back and forth, continue to play both sides of the fence. He postures himself in the middle of whatever the content is pumping the most.
goodness goes back to Seth on numerous reasons, and I'll explain the numerous reasons here. There's just things that do not make sense out of this. I've been picking apart all his interviews that he's given, and he's totally...
Bobby, see, that's the problem, is he totally clickbaited this shit, and people are running with it. It's so easy to do.
Lied across the board, numerous things. And I'll show you what he lied about. But you know, does that make him a killer? Does that make him a kidnapper? Does that make him involved with Sebastian? I just don't know. But it just seems like if you could pick a person here that would be responsible for this, man, I'm telling you, man, for me, it kind of leans towards Seth, because Seth is just bitter about the prior divorce. You know, he feels he was slighted. Just the symbol.
For the deflectionist, Kyle appreciated that comment.
Symbolism of the date, February 26th, the same day that Katie filed for divorce on Seth. Seth and Katie and Chris are established in a more bigger home, and Seth is isolated alone. Seth has no community ties whatsoever to Tennessee. He moved to Tennessee to be closer to Chris and Katie and Sebastian.
Actually, he moved closer to be near his son. To even attempt to diminish that Seth doesn't love Sebastian, that's fucking gross to me.
It's wild. But I want to first point out, right, that Seth, in fact, got his gun seized, and it came out of his own mouth. And he shared about an experience back in California before they all moved to Tennessee. And there's some things I don't understand about this case in reference to how Chris and Katie actually got together, and, you know, all that time right there of when that divorce and the protective orders that Katie filed against Seth, when that all happened, and, you know, a little bit before that. I still don't understand that.
Here we are dredging up old shit to paint narratives, to grab your attention, to get you in, to get people to run through with these narratives, to do all this stuff. I'll be the first to tell you, when the T-Rev stuff came out about the pew pew shit, I was absolutely and still am concerned. This man has a missing child. I can't even imagine his mental state. I can't. I wouldn't want to. And I think that mental state has been brewing for quite some time. I think add that to the YouTubers who have absolutely exploited every ounce of emotion out of that man, continue to do so. People like Tony, all of those people, it's a fucking bad mix. And I have extreme worries about him having weapons. I do. Not because of anything besides. The man has a missing child, and this has gotten so far out of hand.
But what I do understand, and what has been put out there, is at one point sometime in California when Katie was with Chris, Katie filed, Katie was established with Chris, having a relationship with Chris. Apparently she was still married to Seth.
No. Where's the proof of that? Where's the proof of that? That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. And so what? So what? So fucking what? This was years ago.
And she wanted out of the relationship with Seth. And some really nasty mud was being thrown in those court documents. Allegations, bad things against Seth that Katie said Seth was doing. She filed a protective order against Seth. And it seems like Katie got a lawyer involved to help her. So she filed for a divorce and a protective order around the same time, which ultimately the judge granted temporarily. And it forced Seth out of the house. He said,
we all know this. This was out here months ago. All of this was here months ago. He knows this. This is JLR posturing. This is playing both sides of the fence for content, clicks, and views. This is all this is. None of this is new information.
His own mouth, he was put inside a car. He's taken out of the home. He's put out of the car. But they also went in and took his guns. And he also confesses when they went in, he had guns laying all over the table in the house.
Deflectionist, I do too, but I leave that up to law enforcement. I have huge concerns about a lot of stuff that he said and done. But I'm an asshole with a YouTube channel, no different than these people who call themselves true crime. Law enforcement is doing their job. There's shit that bothers me about in the past that we've learned. A ton of shit. But they're now overstepping so far into what they're accusing him of and saying that I have to defend this shit. It's gross.
Right? He had guns all over the place. Now I want to share that clip because I want to move. We're going to start and kind of refresh from there and move forward with this. But it's like, wow, it's so like crazy here.
And they're like, where are they? And I told them they were on my desk. And they were like, but you have a child. Why do you have them on your desk? I was like, they're on my desk. You can go get them.
You're a fucking idiot, JLR. He also went into Sebastian's room when he was on with the lab and said that Sebastian had a pew-pew. We don't know what type. We don't know what the hell it was under his bed. He lifted the corner of the, like, what the fuck, JLR?
30 minutes later, they asked me to come and point out where they were on my desk. And I walked in and I showed them the secret little pops so that they would drop down so you could actually get them. And they took those and I still never got my firearms back. That's California. And they're like, where are they?
Did you hear what he said? He said he got his firearms seized and he never got his firearms back.
Because that's California law with a DV order of protection.
Which I find is very crazy because
it's a law. It's not crazy.
What's up, Chris?
Am and I talked about this, I think, in March.
Because when we were in Tennessee, me and Magnolia, Seth opened up his back of his the truck he drives around with, the one with the big billboard on it. He opened up the back and pulled out these like long automatic weapons. I'm not a weapons guy, so I don't know what type of guns they were, but he was like, look at these guns, and showing us a bunch of guns. But at the same time, he had his other guns taken away from him when he was in California.
But you know what's funny to me? None of that was mentioned. Not a single bit of it was mentioned when they were there. They were willing to go take a bunch of B-roll to help paint the narrative against Chris and Katie that Seth was this grieving father. Meanwhile, he was showing them all these weapons. And now it's being used as content. Now there's a problem with it because they need to posture themselves in a different light. Because Betty over here, his ex or whatever the fuck they are, is going on this side. So they've got to posture themselves on this side. This is all this is.
Literally had his guns, and he says he still didn't get his guns back. We'll play again.
And they're like, where are they? And I told them they were on my desk. And they were like, but you have a child. Why do you have them on your desk? I was like, they're on my desk. You can go get them. 30 minutes later, they asked me to come and point out where they were on my desk. And I walked in and I showed them the secret little pops so that they would drop down so you could actually get them. And they took those, and I still never got my firearms back.
Tracy, nothing besides this clickbait, and people are running wild with it.
That's California. And they're like, where are they?
So he had his guns taken. He says the same thing to T-Rev. T-Rev used to, I strongly recommend go back to the interview that Seth has with T-Rev because there's a lot of nuggets in that interview. There's a lot of little things that, I want to say, at first I was very sympathetic towards Seth. I actually went out there and helped him search.
You helped him paint a narrative. Absolutely. You actually took it upon yourself to go to Chris's job. And I had a huge problem with that. You guys all got up in his business, tried to get him fired from his job, went to the RV park. Meanwhile, we know that the FBI searched the RV park. We're at the RV park. Seth even said that.
The weeks after Sebastian went missing. But going back and listening to these things, knowing what I know now, if they called to the plate and said, you want to help in search, I would just say no, like for numerous reasons. But listen to this, because he also talks about the guns being seized in this clip.
Yeah, she wrote some nasty things.
Yeah.
I represented myself. I did not have an attorney in that case. I did not have an attorney for my divorce. I represented myself. She wrote declarations. Some of them are leaked. Obviously, not all of them are leaked.
Beat him, ding, 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 has nothing to do with Tennessee. Seth's gun was seized because the DVRO in California. That's it. Yep. And here we are. So now people are running with all this stuff was it included in Betty's RO? How the fuck can they, in Betty's orders? I've seen some of the wildest shit today. Some of the wildest shit going in some of these random chats of these people who circle jerk content around. Years ago. 8 years ago.
And I don't care. That was her writing things against me. I went to court. The court system knew I was homeless. Court system knew that all my life.
Why were you homeless, Seth? Was it because you guys kicked out of housing, military housing? Was that why? Yeah, that was.
License and everything had been suspended because of the accusations that were given to me. I was doing armed security. I was in California. All of a sudden, I had a domestic violence. It was, California, they take the firearms. They literally suspend all your license. Next thing I know, I'm living in a car.
Damn.
Living in a car. Can't see my son because she did that. And
Beat him, right? I watched it. You're welcome. I'm going to make you suffer through it tonight. You're welcome.
it was like, okay, well, it's just another chance.
So he said there, guns taken from him, lived in a car, almost like blaming Katie. And now this is where, from that point, eventually it moved to, Tennessee. Seth follows. Actually, Katie.
It moved to Tennessee. He keeps on trying to imply that this moved to Tennessee. No, it didn't. That didn't. Their divorce was finalized. The order of protection was dropped. They moved to Tennessee. They helped Seth get established according to what they've said. Everybody said publicly. They helped Seth come to Tennessee shortly after. They helped him get established. This is what it is. It is a tennis match, Sparrow. Hey, Peg.
According to Seth, Katie and Chris, after Seth was away from them, and apparently according to Seth, they went back in the court and this DV thing got dismissed. That's what he claims. He's claiming it got dismissed. I'm not so sure about that or whatever. But then Seth claims that him and Katie had an agreement that Sebastian can go to Tennessee because it's COVID, crime, California, there's a lot of bad things. And Seth.
Of course, she's going to be deleting her content. And the reason for it is because she's factually ban evading. And she knows that people will start turning her in for ban evasion sooner than later. And no matter if that channel is under somebody else's name or not, it will catch up with her at some point in time. Hey, Duchess. Hey, Twist. I thought you were just reviewing. I'm hot. Twist. I'm not. Maybe should be because this is maddening.
That didn't mind Katie going to Tennessee with Chris. So Chris and Katie go to Tennessee, back to where Chris is from, back where Chris's family's from, Sumner County. Seth stays behind in California. And then 4 months into it, Seth's saying, okay, I'm going to Tennessee now. Now, I don't know if he went to the Tennessee with the blessing of Katie or Chris, but he just goes to Tennessee. And keep in mind, Seth has zero ties to Tennessee, zero ties.
Well, obviously it was with his son was there. Whether he had his blessing or not, they obviously decided that him being... Go back to the initial interviews. Katie and Chris said very openly that Seth was a good dad and loved his son. I don't know how anybody takes that away. All things can be true at once. That's my fucking famous line over here. Seth can love his son and be a decent father. You can have your personal beliefs on that. I sure as do, but I'm repeating what they said. They tried to show a united front. I think that was a fractured front from the jump, but they did publicly come out and say those things. We know that there was problems. I still think that Seth has used a lot of this stuff to seek revenge against his ex-wife. I really do. But it still does not make any of them guilty of Sebastian being missing. We don't have evidence to prove that at this point in time. And this clickbait bullshit right here about the weapons is just muddy in the water.
So he goes to Tennessee. Now, whether that's to go to Tennessee to be closer to Sebastian or to be closer to Sebastian and Katie, because my mind starts to think here, does Seth still have a secret obsession with Katie? And only he can answer that, because we've heard lots of interviews where, Seth would say that, Katie was the love of the life and, she destroyed the family nucleus. And, these are some of the words he said, and about this marriage. And
he didn't say the family nucleus. He said the nuclear family, you dumb fuck.
A lot of people say that, Seth grew.
God, I don't like this motherfucker.
Katie, and Seth, was with Katie at a very young age, and he was in love, and he felt like Katie destroyed everything in that household. But that does paint a picture a little bit about what went on in that family house there in California. And it's still a lot of conflicting information. I'm gonna bring Magnolia in the chat so we can talk a little bit. And while she's in the chat, I'm gonna show you some other things. Stay with us, folks. Stay with us, because we got, we're trying to figure this out. We don't want to have.
Oh yeah, bring this bitch on. Bring this credible bitch on. That is a fucking Oh, the things I would like to say about this fucking evil, vile bitch that he's about to bring on.
Have personal grudges against
People like her set back women's rights for false allegation. Yeah, that's my thought.
him. I don't hate Seth Rogers, so don't think this is just a hit piece on Seth Rogers. I don't hate Katie. I don't hate Chris. I don't hate them all. We're just trying to find out what in the world happened to Sebastian because we invested a lot of time.
This is one person I can say on the internet that I hate, JLR. I absolutely hate this motherfucker. I can't look at this mofo after what I know he did to Sandy Hook and all these other families and think that there's anything redeeming about this man.
In this case. And we just want to know the truth. We want to generally know what happened. And a lot of things do not make sense in this case. Hello, Magnolia.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Give me 1 second to put you on speaker. Are you there?
Duchess, that's quite a ways in, but yes, this is the one.
Oh, I can't hear you. Okay. Okay, here we go. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Magnolia.
Yes.
Welcome aboard. JLR Investigates. Wow.
Hello.
All right. So
Hi,
let's
everybody.
hello. So let's talk a little bit about this, Magnolia. Let's talk about a little bit about this case, family nucleus, what transpired in California, and all of.
He says that motherfucking thing one more time. Your front row hoe ass knows exactly what a nuclear family is, you dumb fuck. Say it right.
Way up to Tennessee.
Yes.
So what do you think?
Well, about which thing?
Anything. Your general thoughts on this whole situation, you know.
Ophelia, not only are his motives not good, they're dangerous. They're extremely dangerous because he pushes extremist propaganda. My Trumpers in the chat, you are welcome here. Please understand when I talk about extremist propaganda, I'm not talking about who you like for president. Do what you want. It has nothing to do with who you vote for. This is extremism. This is the extreme propaganda pushing that JLR inlays in his true crime content, the exact same that Betty does. And the woman speaking, again, I pinned in the last video I did on these guys. Hold on, let me go tell you the title of the video so you guys can find it. In the comment section of that video, I pinned the article from the Washington Post that exposes the woman talking on the screen. Which one is it? The exploitation continues. It is from 6 days ago. The exploitation continues. Characters from hell. Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. In the comment section of that video is a pinned video from the Washington Post. That is the woman that he just called on the phone. I encourage you to go watch that. Watch the entire 9-minute video and then come tell me what you think about this whole duo.
You know, with just the Sebastian case, just about like, you know, you and me been reviewing these videos and we've been, you know, reviewing them late.
JLR super fan. If you weren't just a troll, it would be something else. But if you can sit here and see what he has done to the victims of Sandy Hook, all these families, and still support that guy and tote the name JLR superfan around, I mean, you're a troll, so it is what it is. But we're not the sick ones. You might have some problems. If you're okay with a woman trying to sell a story to national media that a politician got her knocked up when she was a minor and was trying to force an abortion when that wasn't the case, we're not the ones with problems. Sorry. That's the truth, though. And there's a video of that. You don't have to take my word for it.
Into the night and going back to, is there anything that you've learned or see something differently now that, you know, 6 months later, going back and review, what do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, it's why I said last week people should take a step back, go back to the beginning, review the timeline.
Take a step back and go review the timeline. The irony of all this stuff. The irony of twist. I love you. My moral superiority says keep calling the fucks out. Abso-fucking-lutely, twist, we will be. Because guess what? You can have morals that are dug into a hole on the ground and be above these motherfuckers. When people continue to come at me and say, you think you're better than everybody, I don't have to try to think I'm better than everybody. All I have to do is wake up every day and I'm better than these people. Yep, pretty fucking easy when they've dug the bar into the ground and you can just walk over it. You don't even have to lift your feet. You can just walk right over it. You can just walk right over it. You don't even have to take a little step. You don't have to jump a hurdle. You don't have to, none of that shit. You can just walk right over it because they've dug the bar into the fucking ground. Into the ground. Somebody reviewed me with a bunch of people last night and had the audacity to say, a lot of these people have criminal records. Motherfucker, I don't even have a traffic ticket. Keep reaching. I see you. You ain't getting mentioned over here. That's why I never fucking even gave you the time of day. I stopped by one time because pathetic loser. Loser. Okay, carry on.
Which you've done now, and it seems like you're caught up to the things that I've been thinking for a long time. You know, it's just things.
Oh, he fucked with Heels bad.
It's never made any sense.
But Heels didn't let up. Heels did not let up at all. And thank God she didn't.
From the start. They never made sense to me from the start. Everything was kind of chaotic there in the beginning, but you know, when you just look at the timeline of the way everything has played out, for me, I said this last week, for me,
and you know what, even if I did have a criminal record, I wouldn't give a fuck. When you call this drama, when you say that we're doing this for drama, when families are being re-victimized, okay. I'm like, okay. This is why you will stay where you're at. Because if you still think that this is just for drama purposes to profit off of, you're fucking sick. There's a problem in this country and it's called profiting off of people's pain. And these motherfuckers are a growing trend. And yeah, I don't feel bad about calling them out. Sorry.
I just don't see that Katie did anything to Sebastian. It's very hard for me to see that. And I hear people saying it. I've heard you say it 100 million times that you think she's the key. And in the beginning, yeah, I thought that because
Tim, I so badly miss her videos. I wish I wish she was here for this, truly, because she would have been a voice of reason. And I guarantee a lot of the creators that have been sticking up for JLR wouldn't have been. They wouldn't be playing his content. They wouldn't be, because she would have been on that ass. Whether you liked her or not, she was factual with her shit on JLR. 100% spot on.
She was the last one to see Sebastian, right? And as far as we knew, you know, Seth's at work, Chris is at work. She sort of changed her story, added details along the way. But, you know, in the beginning, there was a lot of things.
Hey, Magnolia, you've been watching my content? Magnolia sure flipped her too. And she was a part of the whole harassment campaign with JLR down there, pro Seth. In the beginning, they spun this narrative about affairs, sleeping in garages, driving by the home, claiming that the Bowersox were stalking them, following them. They got connected to the neighbors. Tori, I do too. I do too. I do too. That is one thing I would love to have access to, is her files on JLR. I would love to see her files on JLR. Truly, that woman was a Rolodex of information.
Things that we didn't know. So as the last 6 months have progressed, you know, I just collect everything like puzzle pieces, and it just goes into my brain, and eventually pieces start to fall into place, or they don't. So it's a puzzle. You have to put it together, and you have to really take each thing that happens.
Good night, Cynthia. Thanks for coming in.
As one of those puzzle pieces, and sometimes they fit and sometimes they don't. So for me, when I look at my puzzle, none of the puzzle pieces that Seth has thrown out since the beginning fit. They just don't. So I tweeted today, I made a tweet earlier today. One of the things we reviewed was this whole narrative of Sebastian going to live with Seth.
Yes, let's talk about that.
And so, you know, this was a narrative that was kind of spoken pretty early on.
You can go back on JLR's channel and find videos of them pushing this narrative, by the way. I did it today. Maybe I should walk back in time and show you guys the history lesson of JLR. I did one video with a lot of his shit in it already, but maybe I should go back because he was a huge piece of the foundational focus shift. and poor Seth, Katie, and Chris are the devil and should fry without proof. He was a huge piece of that. Huge foundational piece. He was promoting T-Rev 757 in his content and the alignment with Seth, which you all know how that turned out.
In this investigation, I mean, it was really at the beginning. I mean, Seth had made comments that, well, Sebastian was coming to live with me for the summer and I was going to re-enroll him in school and all these sorts of things. And, you know, I heard him say that and I heard Chris speak about it, but the thing I never saw was evidence of that. So that's just an example of one of the puzzle pieces that I've kept in the back of my mind all this time.
Oh, it was just in the back of her mind all this time until they needed it down the road 6 months later to come out and, you know, posture differently, even though a lot of us, me over here, Duchess, and a few others that were a huge part of building the whiteboard, which we're going to go back to. We're going to go back to the whiteboard and I'm going to walk you through because all the team members are still on that whiteboard and I can tell you how they entered, who contacted who, when they came in, what interviews they were a part of, the narratives they pushed. I can walk that through without even having to look at notes. The foundation of this story and the chaos and the characters of the sideshow freaks have not changed. There's just new characters that have interjected themselves, but the same things have stood true. The deflection, the chaos, the exploitation of grieving family members, confused family members. And again, you can't take it in be blind to the fact that Seth reached out to all of these people. He did. He got in contact with all these people, and it was like a circle jerk of fucking misinformation from there. But both things can be true. Seth can also be vulnerable and a piece of shit at the same time, and we don't have to like him to understand that what is happening to him now is no better than what is happening to Chris and Katie. None of it is okay. These are parents of a missing child. You don't have to like them. You can think Chris is a piece of shit too. You can think that their egos are terrible. You can think all these things. It doesn't make it true. None of this makes it true. He's got over 200K, Ophelia.
I never saw any proof that this was happening because, first of all,
majority of his followers came from the Cavalcante, Danilo Cavalcante, and the border propaganda. He has a lot of extremist right-wing followers, like, and I mean, not typical right-wing, not typical Republicans. We're talking the extremist. He's aligned with Proud Boy. That's how Betty got her connections to the Proud Boys, was through JLR. He's a part of the Front Row Hose, the same propaganda spreading machines JLR is. And if you go back and watch Dietz's commentary video on that, she actually shows proof of how he was posturing himself during the elections, and he was going after Donald Trump and claiming to be on the other side. This is a typical move of his. So doing this in true crime stories is just the same that he does with political propaganda. It's the same exact playbook.
If you have a divorce and you have a custody agreement, that goes through the courts. So any change in that agreement has to go through the courts. And a lot of times you can see it on the dockets. Like there's another case we're covering recently, and I remember looking at the docket of the divorce and the different events.
The Quentin Simon case. He ran the show from afar. If you remember in some of those videos when Betty was in Georgia, he was calling Betty, telling Betty to stay there, stay there. He was amping everybody up to stay there. He was running the show through Betty.
And throughout the divorce proceedings. And, you know, anytime there's a change in custody, that goes to the court. Well, we never saw any proof of a change of custody.
Peg, I thought I was going to fall over. Dietz video. Maybe I should ask Dietz if I could go over that with you guys, because it might be the way to get some of you guys to watch it. I know some people don't watch it unless it's being reviewed or something, but it is fabulous. And some of the shit she found with proof of shit is mind-blowing. Even I was like, holy shit.
For Sebastian, it was just something that Seth said. And I remember Chris mentioning it because Chris had his own reasons for thinking it might be a good idea for Sebastian to go live with Seth. And so it just was clear to me that this was a conversation between Seth and Chris. And I never saw any evidence that this was ever court order or agreed to or anything along those lines. And one of the things we reviewed was a clip of Seth saying that they were working on Katie. This was not set in stone. So there you go.
Well, I
It
can
was
play that
never
clip.
back-
Let's play that
Yeah.
clip. Let's play that clip. I actually have 2 clips. I have 2 clips right here of Seth Rogers. One, he's telling D-Rev in one clip that, yes, it's agreed upon about all of them that Sebastian was going to go with Seth for the summertime. Seth says it in stone, like it's set in stone, like it's going to happen. But
Well, he said it as if it was a fact.
he said it as if it was a fact. But
He
then,
portrayed it that way the whole time.
yes, but what Seth told Vinnie Politan was a whole different story. Seth said to Vinnie Politan in a Court TV interview at the beginning of April that Chris and Seth talked about getting Sebastian there, had that discussion, but Katie more or less wasn't on board with it yet. They were trying to get Katie on board. So that wasn't so I want to believe what he said to Vinny. I don't know what to believe. Only Seth really knows, and the prophets don't really elaborate on that. But listen to this. He says 2 separate things here. Here's the clip. We're gonna play this. I'm going to play. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna play.
This is so fucking wild to see that they're the light bulbs. These aren't light bulbs. They intentionally ignored all this stuff. JLR had the group, that Facebook group. When all of this happened, all he did was switch the name of it. He's got tons of alts. How do you think those anonymous posts are happening in his group? And they are approving them. If you guys aren't paying attention, and how many people that fed information to and content for the last 6 months, his group, the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, is JLR's group. He had already had that group. He switched the name. I've already walked that through and shown all of that. That name was just changed. He's got a bunch of groups. He changes the name for each story. He's got a bunch of different profiles. He uses them to make posts under anonymous. Then the admins approve them, and then people run with it. This is the way the content flows. JLR is a troll. That is 100% his game.
D-Rev's clip with Seth, and it's going to be Seth talking about the custody. And then it's going to follow by what Seth says to Vinnie Politan. Let's get the volume up. The volume's not coming up. Magnolia, let me take this clip and I'll call you right back.
They're making such a big deal out of this. This was a trial run. They were going to try it out and see how things worked out. They weren't even changing anything in the court at this point in time. Like they're going back and pulling out shit that's been out here for a long time and making it into this big deal because it's content farming.
Technical difficulties. We're struggling, folks. Struggling the last couple of days. Struggling.
Betty's over here saying Seth is innocent, needs to be cleared. So they've got to take the defense. They're playing offense and defense. It's like a fucking ping pong game, tennis match, whatever you want it to fucking donkey basketball. JLR and BHB are the donkeys.
Struggling. All right. So this is what I want to play right here. This is what I want to play right here. 2 conflicting info here.
You know, I remember I've talked to you about this, but I'm just bringing it back up for the simple fact that it's still being talked about. People got it mixed up. Is that the agreement between y'all didn't have any arguments with him coming to you for the summer? That was agreement from both sides, and you said that before. That was a mutual agreement between both of you that you were getting him for the summer.
Correct.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Some people were thinking that it was like, you know, some fight, and I'm like, Seth didn't tell me they argued. That was an agreement from both sides, and they both agreed on that.
Yeah. Most of my discussions were actually taken care with Chris. And
Oh, Natalie, is she really?
she was Sebastian.
Is she really, Natalie? Why am I not shocked by this? I don't understand how people can't see this. And then what happens is JLR does this, makes some salacious allegations, some salacious shit. So then Spanky goes on the offense to defend Seth and says, you know, all of this stuff, that's what happened today. Now tonight you'll have BJ going over the same shit that Justin did. And by the way, BJ, I will be reviewing you this week again too, because you are a sick, vile bitch for what you did to Katie last night. You took innocent conversations of her talking about her family, her child, and made them into the grossest fucking shit I've ever heard. And don't worry about taking the video down. It's already recorded. So fuck you. You are a sick bitch. This is so out of hand all day, every day. And it's how they control a narrative. They push these high pressure. So they go from chat to chat all day long. They bounce off each other. So one goes live at this time. One goes live after. They go back and forth. Betty will go live. Then they got their next talking points because they got to take the opposite side to that. it just keeps going. Oh, Natalie, I'm not even shocked anymore. Truly, like, I am so sucking. Oh, Twinkles. I'm so disgusted, but I have been over there with them. I don't fuck with that group of people, and I'm sure fucking glad that what happened, and I fucking got a big slap in the face. I knew from jump that she was associated with this motherfucker because she was bragging about meeting him. And I'm so sick of hearing, I knew from instant when I met him, you were going hard at Katie and Chris. Like, don't forget where you stood. You were part of the people driving by the neighbor. Like, the fuck? No, like, hoo. People think that they talk. Oh, fuck. There's so much I would like to say.
Someone's supposed to come live with me.
And you know who gets stuck in the middle of this at the end of the day? People come out and say stuff like they've lost more sleep over Sebastian being missing than Katie. That Katie doesn't deserve Sebastian, or Sebastian's light is more. They come out and say these things. Katie's not talking, hasn't been talking. And you wonder why? You wonder why she's not talking and saying anything. She can't say anything. They are doing this all day long, back and forth like a ping pong game. And now here we are. They're making Seth a victim again, which Seth is a victim. He's a missing parent of a missing child. But they are upping it to now making horrible accusations against the man. I don't like the man. I don't have to like any of these motherfuckers. But Katie is the one that they continue to, like, everybody goes at. And they keep making excuses for going at Katie when she's been silent.
Chris was working on Katie on getting her to agree to it. And all I wanted was my son to come live with me.
100%.
See what I'm saying? One, he's saying to people on YouTube, oh, it's already cut in stone, right? Cut in stone and everything like that. Oh, okay. Sebastian's coming with me for the summertime. But it appears that he told Vinnie Politan a whole different story, and Katie wasn't on board with it at the time. So this wasn't an agreement with Katie. Maybe something, communications or something between Chris and Seth on it, and maybe they were talking about it. And my theory on that was maybe, hey.
All day, every day. All fucking day, every day. BJ had the audacity of going back to the court TV interview last night that Seth talks about the unfortunate situation that happened to Sebastian in California, to replay that again, to make sure that, that narrative got put out here again too, to regurgitate that stuff, to take another jab, to, and then they go on to just, I'm dumbfounded. And the subs just eat it up and they run from chat to chat all day long. Some of these people need help. Truly.
I'm going to get Faith into town. I'm going to get Faith coming into town from New Mexico for the summer while Faith is here, maybe because Faith and Sebastian don't get along. We've been hearing some stuff, with Sebastian behavior around Faith, whatever. And then maybe Chris and Seth said, oh, okay, well, maybe Sebastian can come for you for the summer, not permanently, for the summer while Faith is here, you know what I mean? And then in the fall, you'll come back, to live with us, whatever like that. But it appears, ladies and gentlemen, that Katie wasn't on board with that. That wasn't the truth. But the narrative seems like it had been pushed around for a long, long time was.
By the way, thank you all for being here and joining in on this conversation tonight. I really appreciate all of you that are logical minded and that see what is happening. I can't thank you guys enough, because sometimes I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind with the bullshit and drama. And by the way, speaking of drama, just to make it very fucking clear to everybody, because there's a whole lot of shit going on and I want nothing to do with it. I don't get involved in creator to creator drama, period, point blank. I've said that a million times. People's beefs and their shit, I'm not interested in. If it comes down to creators exploiting families, talking shit, pushing off false narratives, that's where my interest perks. I don't fucking care about the creator. He said, she said, they took my toy away. She twisted my Barbie's hair wrong. Like, I don't give a fuck. I truly don't, about the creator to creator who likes to. I don't care about that drama. Sorry. I'm not interested in it. Want nothing to do with it. So, yeah, not interested whatsoever. I only give a fuck about the harm that's being done to the families. I'll fucking drag a bitch 100%, especially when BJ has tried to blame me for shit that doesn't happen. I'll tell you if I'm doing drama. You guys know that. I tell you straight up, this is a fucking shit talking drama stream. No problem with that. I'll handle my creator to creator drama just like grown adults should. But other people's, I'm not interested in. Okay. That's a PSA.
That was a statement of fact, like that Sebastian was in fact going to, stay with Seth in Clarksville, an hour away. And there's another point here. Seth recently told the media at the end of May 2028, told News Nation about Sebastian. And this is what he said in an article. This is what he said. And I put this out. Explain to me how this makes any sense. Seth claims he's going to re-enroll Sebastian at Beach High School in the fall.
Look at him. Look at him pulling up his own fucking post from his Facebook group. Look at this mofo. A one-way street. It's terrible. I'm telling you, it is a domino effect. 100%. Yep.
And then in an article on News Nation, he explains, he says, God's protecting him right now and he will bring him home. Seth said, we just have to look in the right places. He explained that he has kept Sebastian.
Well, in true disclaimer fashion, I should probably have my mom start saying, Becky's just an asshole with a lot of opinions and don't like anybody. Chasing, I think one time, Chasing Truth, I don't know if she's still in here or not, but Chasing said that the list of people, I think the meme said something about 7 people. I think we're down to 5 at this point. I think 2 have been removed off the list of me liking humans. So we might only be at 5 now. There was at one time 7 people in the world that I liked. Now we might be to 5. Actually, I have more than 5 mods, so I genuinely like more than 5 people, but it's really thin. It's very, very thin. Like my list of liked people is like see-through. It's so thin. Kind of like these guys' narratives.
Enrolled at Beach High School since February and will re-enroll him in the fall, hoping to have him back by then.
Pika, go enjoy your time. You do so much over here. I could never thank my mods enough. You go enjoy your time. Don't ever apologize.
So Seth's telling this media outlet article, right, that in May 28th, that Seth saying that he had Sebastian enrolled in Beach High School since February, and he was going to enroll in Beach High School again in the fall. Well,
Duchess, we should do like a celebrity death match, YouTube creator style, with some sock and boppers, like those blow up like boxing gloves, and just give them to each other and just watch them duke it out. That would be some funny shit. Some oil wrestling. I don't recommend mashed potato wrestling. We had that at prom one year, and that was I had instant mashed potatoes in places I don't even want to talk about. Okay, let's go on.
Oh, how can that be if Sebastian was going to come live with him, unless it's true just for the summer? That's what I'm trying to say. It's not permanently. It's not a permanent, unless Seth's not telling the truth. And how did Seth get Sebastian enrolled in Beach High School? Wouldn't that be the responsibility of Chris and Katie? A lot of red flags on this. Here's another thing I want to show you about, a little bit about a timeline. I want you all to make sense out of this.
A little about a timeline. JLR is now invested in a timeline of sorts. Didn't give a fuck in the beginning, was just trying to push off any narrative he could, but now he cares about a timeline. Fucking, you can't make this shit up anymore. You can't.
Right? We didn't know nothing about
Chasing. By tomorrow, it might be down to fucking 3. You know, I can tell you guys something here. Of all the true crime creators that have covered this extensively, like I've liked the same people, like Chasing and those guys. I've respected those guys and their content for a long time. But there's one creator that's covered this case with integrity that I have really grown to really have a lot of respect for, and that's Michelle. I really enjoy her content. I'm a silent watcher, replay watcher of all of her things, and I so appreciate her voice and her rational, logical thinking. Like, I didn't know who she was until this case, and she is one of the only ones that is new to me through this case that I can say I highly respect. Don't agree with everything, which is going to be normal, but highly have grown to respect.
This case. We didn't know nothing about this case outside of that area there, unless you, have the local paper, whatever like that. This mystery. Now we're talking about
Pop, I absolutely will.
February 26, 2024. That's when Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers went missing. Now, if you were from that area, you know that they were doing searches around there. We talking to the neighbors. The whole neighborhood was being turned upside down. However, no one outside that community really did not know what was going on until about March 4th, when it really hit the fan. And March 4th, it hit the fan. That's when the Proudfoots, actually, believe it or not, March 3rd. This is the very first interview Katie and Chris has ever given about this case. And it actually happened on a show, a YouTuber's channel called Duchess, on Duchess. And that's when the Proudfoot came on. That's when Chris Proudfoot came on and spoke to Duchess. And it was on March 3rd. So Sebastian goes missing February 26th. March 3rd is the first time.
Okay, I dropped her Michelle After Dark channel. I think she might have 2 channels. Yes, it's the link in the chat. Michelle After Dark. Michelle is extremely intelligent. She's not from America even, but she's wonderful. She has done videos on the lights. She debunked that shit a long time ago. She's talked about the dog handlers. Like, I have the utmost respect for her content. Truly one of the only channels I would recommend that is a true crime channel that has covered this case throughout the entire thing on facts with integrity. 100% hats off to her. Really, really impressed. And that takes a lot for me to say.
Katie and Chris talk about this case. Now, at that point, Seth never spoke to anybody about the case. Nothing on Seth. So the very first interview was actually the Proudfoots on March 3rd, right? So then what happened was,
shout out to the Duchess.
On March 4th, sometime either the 3rd or the 4th, but this was posted on the 4th by WSMV. And this was that 4-part interview.
It's so funny to watch them guys finally catch up to the narrative that we've already known existed. That Seth didn't speak until after the Proudfoot family came out and spoke, but he's the only one that cared. Meanwhile, they actually came out to media first. Again, this is the interview that they claimed, oh my God, look at Chris's arms. Look at all the mofos. Are you fucking joking? Law enforcement would have swabbed those if they thought if they existed when he pulled into the driveway with his hazards on the day Sebastian went missing, because law enforcement was already there by the time he got there. If they noticed scratches and stuff, they would have swabbed his arms for DNA. They would have photographed all of it. It will be in the record. Like, it will fully be there at the resolve of this case. Trust and believe. If those scratches would have been there.
That original video, right? This is when we started the case. We made our first video after this right here. March 4th, right? And when we made this video, at this point, Seth never has spoken. He never spoken. So it was the Proudfoots that really came out first before Seth speaking about this case. Seth has never made any interviews or anything like this. Proudfoots made this interview. They were on Duchess the day before.
Yeah, we're not going to Duchess. I don't agree with her on everything either. But she has been, as far as a true crime creator goes that covers these cases, truly, if you really think, like, she has been both sides. She is one that it's not going to be for everybody. And that's why I really appreciate it, because she can point out things that I didn't even think about at first. Like, I was like, and I still don't agree with some of it, but yeah, I really appreciate it.
Then it appears that on this date right here, and I'm going to show you, March 4th, at the end of the day, after the Proudfoots
end of March, Peg,
gave their interview, we did a live, and then we were like,
Peg, factually speaking, I'll go back to one of my first videos because I was laughing when Betty started covering this case. I actually was speaking about it because I knew it was due to her fighting with JLR, and also because Queen started covering it. And I said, watch, this is going to end up in filings and shit with it. I said all of that up front. I'll go find the lives that I talked about it in.
Well, we don't know much about the biological father. Hopefully we'll get, some info about him. He gives an interview later on, a phone interview, right? So this is the first time Seth Rogers comes out of the woodwork about this, but he comes out right after the Proudfoots come out. Now, we heard conflicting information about, both parties were told to stay quiet while the search was going on, right? But he came out March 4th. So he came out after the Proudfoots came out. Then we have a lots of chain of events that happened, right? And in this one, I'm trying to give you guys kind of like an idea. Days later, this landfill report comes out. So Seth and Katie and Chris, March 4th, 3 days later, the landfill story comes out about, possible, Sebastian possibly being in a landfill or whatnot, and then March 11th, a couple days after that, that's when Nick Barris has an exclusive with Seth Rogers. March 11th,
he sits down and actually talks to.
Watching them like come to realization that we've all been talking about for so long is fucking ironic. But remember, this was all clickbaited in by saying Seth's guns were seized. Meanwhile, yes, he does acknowledge that that happened in California, but it still is the clickbait. It's the narratives. It's the new, yeah.
Them and Nick actually talks to Seth Rogers in a one-on-one interview. Then a couple days after that, March 14th, is that security video. That security video.
They're just making up all sorts of shit.
The video of the flashlights, the one outside. There's a lot of controversy whether that has evidentiary value or not. What I can tell you,
and then what happened was, but at that point, up to March 14th, no one on.
That's the biggest mistake in this case by Nick Barris, in my opinion, was him releasing that video of the lights, because that created a ruckus, literally a ruckus.
Either side were doing any searches. Now, Seth, I heard, was looking around at the beginning by himself or with maybe one or two people or something like that, but there was no organ.
No. That's bullshit. Seth and Chris actually searched together. Chris drove. Chris also went with law enforcement and searched around the neighborhood because Seth was upset about that. There was on-the-ground searches by all sorts of people. Within hours, they had a fixed-wing aircraft in the air. I've said this numerous times. This is so much bullshit. And law enforcement had asked the family not to search.
Organized searches. The very first time Seth Rogers decided to search was here when I met him.
this is the first time actually people came out and searched when I met him. And this was.
That's not the first time people went out and searched. That's bullshit again. Chronicles with Olivia filmed a lot of the searching that was going on before JLR got there. Like, people fucking seriously stop. The rewrite here.
It was March 21st. So this was a week after the video came out about the lights. This is when I went up there, and this is where, at that point, days later, we all went out and started doing all these mass searches and everything like that, and groups of people started searching with Seth. But Seth, that was the first time Seth was actually doing searches with groups of individuals. He didn't start doing searches to 3 weeks into this. He didn't start doing searches to 3 weeks into this.
I just want to put that out there. And also, the Proudfoots are the ones that came out first to report Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was missing.
No shit. No shit, but you guys threw such a fit about the three-way call to law enforcement. And the reason and the purpose of that was because Chris was in Memphis. So he bypassed all of the bullshit rerouting and called directly to Sumner County on a three-way call, as Katie was, I'm sure, in a panic.
They were the first ones, not Seth. So what I'm thinking is, and this is what I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, was Seth reactionary by coming out after the Proudfoots as a reaction to the Proudfoots to counter the Proudfoots? Because we talk about Seth being a grieving father and everything like that and searching and everything like that. I've already told you a little bit about the searches, and I think they were a little shady and suspect, going into wrong direction.
He thinks they were shady and suspect, but he was all for it because it was content for him in the beginning. Fucking wild.
Directions in all kinds of weird places. But Seth decided to start doing these times of searches almost 3 weeks into Sebastian going missing. Why didn't
Michelle is Michelle After Dark. I don't know much about Grizzly True Crime. I've never really watched her. I like her accent. I don't know where she's from. She's a beautiful woman. But I can't tell you much about her. She's the one I always got confused with Grizzy of Grizzy's Hood News. And I don't like Grizzy because of the shit she did in the Savannah Soto case. Sorry, it is what it is.
Any of the parents do this the first week and call on the public or anyone to do the searches? And why did Seth decide to start doing searches after he gave an interview with Nick Barris, after Nick Barris gave that lights video out, which Seth told me out of his own mouth, me and Magnolia, that he was irate and pissed off at Nick Barris for putting those photos out. For some reason, Seth does not like Nick Barris. He hates.
Actually, none of them do. Hey, Deborah. Oh, she's from South Africa. I didn't know that.
Nick Barris, and it's something to do with that video that Nick Barris released with the lights. He specifically said that he started cussing. Like when I met Seth, he started cussing about Nick Barris, about putting that video out. So there's something up here. There's something up here about it. And I just wanted to emphasize the timeline here. Another thing I want to share here, which is so interesting about this, is that when you look at the news report, and it's so funny how Nick Barris and the people.
Hey, Jason.
I like Nick Barris and I like his reports. However, for him to say it's not a criminal investigation, I don't get it, because his own network the day March 11th he interviewed Sebastian Wayne, or he interviewed Seth about Sebastian. The same day, March 11th, his news network reported this case as a criminal investigation. Listen to this.
Exactly 2 weeks ago, we were just learning about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers from
And by the way, before you even hear this was retracted.
Sumner County. Today, the search continues. The case, though, we know is now a criminal investigation. Thanks for being with us at 6, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Kelsey
And this was retracted right after.
Gibson for Carrie tonight. For the first time, we were getting a look at family video of the missing 15-year-old. Sebastian's biological father gave it to Nick Bears during an exclusive on-camera interview.
Exactly 2 weeks ago, we were just learning about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers from Sumner
She's a pilot? No shit.
County. Today, the search continues. The case, though, we know is now a criminal investigation. Thanks
The
for being
case
with us
that
at
we
6.
know is now a criminal investigation. They said it. Their network said it out of their own mouth. We know it's a criminal investigation. For anyone at this point to say it's not, I don't know what you're thinking. It is a criminal investigation. But they said it out of their own network 2 weeks after Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers went missing. So much stuff. I'm getting Magnolia back in the chat.
Which video, Anderson? Which video did she private? The one from her live from last night? Is that the one you're talking about? Did she just go private that shit? Did she really? Hold on. Let me look at this. Let me grab my other device. She didn't private that shit, did she? Why would she do that? Is she trying to avoid it being reviewed? Well, that was stupid. Because listen to this.
Yes. She's on her channel. Well, she has her own channel.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. She does that a lot because she probably got wind that I'm going to review it. Because what she said about Katie was gross.
I'll tell you. I'll challenge you.
Oh, that audio is terrible on that. Yeah, I got the video. Anyways. Oh, did she make a members only post? Anywho, I don't know if it's privated or not. I haven't looked, but I've got a recording.
Chat. Hi, Magnolia.
Yes.
Welcome back. So I had to shut you off because for some reason the phone won't let me play clips volume-wise with two people on. I have to find a way to correct that. So as we were talking, what's your take? Continue here because I want to really dig deep into this and try to understand this and motives and methods on all parties here.
Did you play the Vinny clip?
Which one? I played the Vinny one in reference to, there's another Vinny clip too, but I played the Vinny clip.
No, it's on her channel from 18 hours ago. It's on her channel. It's right here. She didn't private it, you guys. It's right here. It's right here.
Let alone, because it's in the vicinity of your child, children. Just have to say.
Things should have changed that.
Well, okay, so let's say that you're treating this as though he walked out the door. Perfect. All right, did you get a scent? Nope. Okay, is he on camera anywhere? Nope. Has there been any sightings of him by a person? Nope. Has there been any evidence that he...
So what about The Price is Right? Did he like watching that?
No, I didn't really watch that one very much.
I don't see a community post except from a day ago. A one-way street. The only thing I see on our community tab is from one day ago, and it's to talk about, I'd like to remind everybody of Dylan Redwine's case or Megan Boswell. Anderson, it's on her videos, unless there was there another one that happened after this one? I'm confused because that one's right here. Anyways, yeah, that one's right here. Hold on. Let me show you. I'll pull it up really quick for you. I don't think there's another one. Oh, here it is. Hold on. It's right there.
When I had that conversation with Seth, I recorded verbatim because I asked him that question. Mr. Seth, what is your boy like? And he said he was a genius at math. He was brilliant at chess. And I also asked him what were his hobbies, and he said Minecraft. He made no.
It's right there. Wait, Terry, she was doxing teenagers in that? What? I haven't gotten that far. Oh, okay, Jules. Yeah, I was like, what?
About him saying, him saying basically, which one? We played Vinny and T-Rev.
Yeah, the one. So the one with
So
Vinny where he said that we're still working on Katie.
So he goes
That
on.
family.
Basically, we don't even have to watch any more of this. So I'm not going to play Truth's video from last night? Let me go look. She may have edited it. Let me see. Is the live chat gone? Hold on. No, the chat's still here. Well, it looks like it. No, the chat's still there. It's not edited. Yeah, it's still there. On that one. Oh, okay, Terry. I was like, wait, what? I haven't heard that. Oh, it's a members only post. Yeah, a one-way street. I'm not that invested in her shit. I'm not a member. I'm definitely not a member over there. I have my membership turned off on everybody. Okay, so Truth last night. I'm so disappointed in these people.
If you stop touching the glass.
They put their hands all over the glass. Okay. So he does was Seth under investigation at the sheriff's department?
Had you
Let's chat about it. And goes on to talk some shit. Talk about Foia and records from the police department. How is that any different than what Betty does? How is this any different? Anybody? Everybody got real quiet. It's not. It's truly not. It's truly not. Let me pull up something. Hold on. Let me. Oh, of course. 2 lives a day from that crew. 2 to 3. Shocker. Hold on. Let me just go down here and pull the transcript right quick. I'll read you guys apart. I don't fuck with you. Stupid ass bitch. I ain't fucking with you. Can you guys hear that when I'm over here? Or do I have to share that one? Hold on. Hold on. Let's go up here. Let's go back here just a little bit.
Oh, what is this? Oh, well, looky here. Looky here.
Can you hear it now? No? fuck it. I'll just play this part. It'll be what it is. It's all under fair use anyways. I don't give a fuck.
Let's see. What am I able to get? Oh, man. Darn it. Let me try to... having a little problem here, you know. Let me just...
Man, he sure looks different than his cam slip.
Is it that? Oh, that's right. You can get employment files that include hire date, disciplinary actions. You mean that's public information? You don't say. You mean you can request from the Davidson County Sheriff's Department on, oh man, I wish I knew the website, nashville.gov. I don't know, something like that. And you can.
Isn't it interesting that JLR just did a public call out for people to get these records, Tennessee residents? It's no different. No fucking different.
You know, put a request in and get any record or part of record which is defined by the Tennessee Public Records Act and other state and federal laws as being exempt from public inspection, including but not limited to those records listed in TCA 10-7-504. Crazy. You mean I can get all paper documents, letters, maps, books, photographs, microfilms, electric data processing files and output, film, sound recordings, and other material regarding a physical form or characteristic?
But why would you do that? Why? Oh, because you want to be the next BHB?
And I know there's some people going, no, you can't get all that. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe. So what is it, Seth? Were you under investigation or do I just have a silly source?
Huh. So they come out here and make all these blatant allegations. Tell me how that's any different than what Betty does.
Maybe there is some redactions. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's just redactions and I don't know, maybe the suspect or subject described in said paperwork. I mean, that might be blacked out, but you know what would be crazy? Like super crazy, right? Like way left field, not possible. If that individual came forward, you know, that would be, that would be crazy.
This is fucking sick. I'm sorry. It is what it is. No different. No fucking different. Making sensationalized bullshit about the father of a missing child. Again, you can have your personal feelings on him. You can make up your own wild theories, your conspiracy shit, involve him in anything. You can be disgusted by his behavior. The fact that Katie was 12 and he was 10 years older, the abuse, all of that stuff that we all have issues with. You can do all of that, but this is fucking too far. You're no different than Betty. You make Betty look good.
You make my asshole itch.
Aha! Chico, did you get it? Kyle's saying you're lying too now. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. This is the father of a missing child. Why are YouTubers trying to get employment records of the father of a missing child? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go to another spot. Oh, wait. And then we're going to throw in here that barbecue lady, one of the TikTok twits, raised $12,000 with her TikTok groupies for billboards, right? But we're going to forget that she's been a huge constant part of the deflection and the drama that has been created. You know, her daughter, prom dresses, in with Tony, out with Tony. But now because she's raising money for billboards, everything's good, right? She's all on the up and up and everybody's cheering for it. Where is that? Last night in this live stream, they pinned it and cheered it all on and stuff. The only person I can really stand for that says that was 100% transparent on everything they did with the billboards was Duchess. And I'll say that again. Duchess has been extremely transparent. Here you go. There you go. Over 20,000 now. Wow. 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 You don't see anything wrong with getting records of a parent of a. What the fuck does law enforcement do then? So it's just okay to trash these parents' lives. Meanwhile, they're not even considered suspects just because Seth says he's a suspect. That's all for prompt. That's all for attention. Law enforcement does not. Yeah, I'm sorry. No. Mm-mm. Over $20,000. And Barbecue Lady was one of the first. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go scroll down my community wall. I've already posted it. Was one of the first ones to set up a tip line when she was associated with Seth and Tony. Just like all the rest, she fell out with them, turned it into a whole side game, took a lot of attention off of Sebastian. But now, to one up Tony and Seth and do that, now we're going to raise money for billboards for Sebastian. If it was about Sebastian, I'd be all down for it, but it's not. It's a game. It's all a game. All a fucking game. That's just you absolutely did. And people actually saw your billboards. They could see them. They could find them. Because it was quality over quantity for you. Anyways, I have a lot of problems with all this shit going on. It's all a game. And they're all playing into it. They're all feeding into it. They're all part of it. I stand firm on where I stand. I don't fuck with shit like that. I think it's disgusting. You make Betty a victim. Calling Betty's attorney makes Betty a victim. And by the way, I'm hearing that multiple people did call Betty's, and one of them might have been in my chat yesterday. You're ballsy to come in my chat after you're a part of calling Betty's attorney. What does that do? Makes Betty a victim. Proves Betty's point about people take it too far with her. Makes Betty a victim. You're part of the problem. We want actual change for victims and their families so they don't have to go through any of this. Katie and Chris didn't deserve any of what they've got, but doing the same thing to Seth only makes Seth even more relevant to Betty to push. Look at what they're doing. Look at all this stuff. It's a back and forth. It's a ping pong game. It's all for content. And Sebastian's the one that's lost in all of it. You can be pissed at me for speaking my opinion on this stuff, but it's factual. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, and all of it's fucking gross. And these people claim to be true crime. They claim to be so educated and so mindful. You don't see them working for law enforcement. In fact, people like this are making law enforcement's job harder. How are they different than JLR? Oh, wait, they're not, because they hang out with that. Birds of a feather. What's the saying? Flock together? If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, looks like a rat, acts like a rat. Seth didn't ask for his child to be missing. Neither did Chris and Katie. Seth absolutely fed into the games. 100%. It's still not. It's still not okay. I don't care how you try to justify it. It's not okay. I don't fucking like Seth. I don't like a lot of the things we've seen. What he has done out here is vile. What he's said about his son, what he's lied about is vile. But every time they go at Seth, Seth's team comes back, Betty, and goes harder at Katie. And then you have people like Brittany J making up salacious fucking gross shit about Katie. Right, Laura? It's fucking gross. You know how many... And that's the crazy thing is, if it would have been about Sebastian and the billboards, these people would have done this when they were part of Seth's team. They aligned themselves for content. They aligned themselves to the parent for content. Then they had a falling out and used it for content. And now they've been using that and going around to creator to creator to creator to sell these, well, not sell as in money being exchanged, but these text messages. Yeah, what Tony did was fucking gross. But Tony's just another character that involved himself in the circus. It's all fucking gross. And it's just too far. Like, who would I be to say this stuff and not have a problem with that? It's the same thing. Cassie, when you make yourself look crazy and suspicious, can you imagine what you would do if your kid was missing? I can't imagine what I would do. I'm sure I would look fucking suspicious as hell and fucking unhinged as fuck. Fuck, I don't have a missing kid, and some of you fuckers think that. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. If we are fighting for victims' rights, then that applies to Seth Rogers too. If we are applying for equal across the board, that parents and victims are treated better, no matter our personal feelings on what the man has said and done publicly, then it's across the motherfucking board, correct? Just because we can doesn't mean you should. The Bower Sox got drug into this for no reason. No reason whatsoever. Seth was there before Kathy got there. Yep. And then I go back to and remember, oh, wait, never mind. I got informed of what they did to the Idaho case. No different than truth and transparency, if you ask me. Fuck, if it wasn't for beneficial sides on this with BHB, I would think that BHB and MGL found their twins. We could have a whole new group of behind Chili's on their knees behind Chili's, because all of them act the same. They're all doing the exact same shit. It's no different. Absolutely, SS. And if we continue to disregard that, if we scream innocent until proven guilty, that applies to Seth Rogers too, whether we like it or not, whether we have personal feelings on this or not. I'll be the first to tell you, I have thought some crazy things at times. Doesn't mean it's okay. Doesn't mean it's okay. What you will never see me doing is coming out here accusing the father of things that we don't have proof that he's done just because of rumors. What he's done to Katie is no different than what they're doing to him. There is a specific amount of blips per billboard you can ask to get a day. I had 2 boards at $50 a day, not 22 at $50 a day. A blip is $1. You do the math and tell me who gets more views. Yeah. The less amount of billboards with the more amount of money, they're going to blip more often. So I think, like, I don't know what the math would be. I would say that 22 billboards a day at $50 a day might get 2 blips? Like 2 6-second blips. So if you're not there during those 2 times during the day for 6 seconds, I'm hoping with over $20,000 raised that they increase those tenfold and run, $200, $400 a day. So they're just blipping all the time. So his face is really saturated. It'll be seen, but I don't trust any of it. Sorry. I don't trust any of the TikTok twits. TikTok is a cesspool of fucking misinformation and bullshit, and it's nothing but drama. And all of those women have been involved in this from jump with drama. Yep, absolutely. Hey, LFT, roll tide. It really is. I 100%. Hey, Ava. And it's so disappointing to see people supporting that shit and going along with it and being like, yep, I do too. I do too. But they're smart, in my opinion. They're handling and protecting their rights through the court system. I hope to God they're not entertaining this shit and feeding this fire. And I really hope they're not. I truly hope they're not, because if that's the case, they're all a part of making Sebastian not the focus. I have 100% deflectionist, me too. I have major issues with that. But both things can be true at the same time. He could have done all of those things. He could have absolutely, and this is, I'm not saying this is fact, from what we know out of his own mouth, it looks like a very potential grooming situation. I'll say it that way. But even if that's the case of what he did to Katie, we have to separate those situations. Just because he did that to Katie does not mean he's automatically involved in the disappearance of this child. It is hard at times for me. You guys have heard me. That's why I had to stop reviewing the interviews. Because even though right now there's not evidence to prove that he's involved in his son's disappearance, I personally don't think he's smart enough to do something like that. He would have had to have help. I just don't see it. And plus what we know from law enforcement doesn't lead us there. So people jumping the gun and trying to like one up and taunt him, you're no better than Tony doing the same shit. No different. Yeah, and you've been nothing but transparent on everything. It's not a competition. Sebastian's face, I'm glad. I'm 100%. I'm not salty about that at all. I just don't trust who it is, and I never will. I don't fuck with those people, and I don't go back and flip-flop from not trusting somebody. When you show me who you are, I'm going to believe you the first time. When you come out here and create a tip line and have people emailing you tips, and then all of a sudden you magically have a problem and are releasing text messages, no, something's fishy here. How do we know that her and Tony aren't setting this all up for distractions? I mean, truly, it is what it is. No shade. We keep shining over here, right? Shine bright like a diamond. Peg, that's the thing. I want to believe that Sebastian is still alive and will come home. I want to believe that. I don't want to believe that the parents are involved in any nefarious behavior whatsoever. And just because he had behaviors doesn't mean like we can't jump that. No, Cassie, that was Barbecue Lady. Barbecue Lady was one of the first ones with the tip line on TikTok. There's a screenshot in my community post of her tip line. She set up an email for tips. She was aligned with Seth and those guys until they had a falling out. And then she tried to make it all about her. She went into Pascal's live one night, tried to make it all about her and how they talk shit on her. Tony's a piece of shit. Like, what do you expect? When you lay with dogs, you're going to get fleas. But when you lay with dogs, what does that make you? A dog. And when you continue to posture yourself with creators for your own involvement and are just another character in the circus act, Cassie, 100%. I'll go pull it right now for you. I'll go look. Hold on. It's right here on my phone. Let me go. Let me go to my own page. And these people know I take Jay for justice. Like, I don't fuck with Jay. And I posted this and tagged her in it so she would know exactly when Barbecues tried to get in over there. Like, I don't have to like these people to see what's happening. This isn't about personal likes or dislikes. This is about what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. All victims, all parents, whether we like them or not, should have the presumption of innocent until proven guilty. And there's evidence to prove that through law enforcement. YouTubers need to stay in their fucking lane. All of them, including myself. This is my lane. Calling people pieces of shit on YouTube is my lane. Give me a second. It's been a while. Oh, I got to schedule my posts for the week. Oh, and for those of you that didn't understand the post last night, somebody came in and was giving me shit because they said, hold on, I'll read you the comments in a second. Something about Kyle's legs. Oh, your legs were posted a couple days ago. I didn't even realize that. They knew you had legs. Damn assholes. Somebody made a comment that I cut people off at the knees. And so somebody was being a smart ass and was like, now, speaking of which, I've never seen Kyle's legs. Does Kyle have legs? So I took a picture and posted it. That's what that was about. It was a funny haha, but I think people got a little confused, per usual. I'm good at confusing people. Mini cows. Gosh dang. When was that? Sorry. I probably would have found it faster going to my own screenshots, but I have like 1,200 fucking screenshots. No, actually, it's more like 12,000 at this point in time.
You guys turn the fridge temperature up?
No.
I think you need to turn it down.
Okay, then do that.
I don't know how. It's too hot.
It's too hot?
It's not fully, like the water bottles aren't full, and then it's been like 2 hours since she's put them in.
Oh, that doesn't mean shit, sis. Okay, here you go. It's from 1 month ago. Hold on. Let me share this. Here you go. Let me go down. So this is the post. It says just a reminder of what she was doing when she first came into the story. There you go. There you go. Oh, I have a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte phone or something like that. I crashed my phone in the Marvon McRae story because I had so many screenshots. Let me tell you how many screenshots I have. Oh, well, I'm only up to 12,400. Screenshots of that is 5,898. Screen recordings, 884. Videos, 1,802. There you go, Cassie. Tips about Sebastian at yahoo.com. And she was live during that. I did that on purpose so people could see that that was her account that she goes live on. Yep. And all these people know. I know, Terry. I was like, no feet. Patricia, one of my friends told me today that I needed to go blow off some steam because there's some stupid fucking shit going on in the background today. I got some fucking messages today from shit that I was just like, wow, people are fucking reaching on some stupid drama shit. Yeah, there you go. Feel free to share that around too if you guys want, if anybody questions that. That's why I don't fuck with these people. Tell me that that's cool. Seth's tip line wasn't even the first foundational one. And that screenshot's from way back. There is crazy afoot for sure. Yep. SS, I don't know. It's one of the ones I just grabbed off the internet. I truly don't know. I think it was a Kim Kardashian photo that was enhanced. I think that's what it was. I don't know whose it was, though. It was just one of those, one of these things is not like the other. I put that picture and me in there to throw people off. Gummies for everyone. No, it wasn't a mod. It's not Pika SS. Kyle is. Oh my gosh. Brantley, if you hear this, Brantley, Josh, and Cash last night, I went back and read the comments because I missed so many and I was so behind. You motherfuckers had me dying. Cassie, see, this is why I have such a problem with the shit that's happening, because these people are doing this for self-serving needs, and it just continues to take the focus off of Sebastian. I'm all for billboards. I supported Clue doing that. I donated to Clue doing that. I donated to Duchess doing that. But I also see that it's being used now, not as genuine intent for Sebastian. It's being used to weaponize of who's better than who. And if it's about Sebastian, there's not a who's better than who. It's not to one up Tony and Seth. It's not to do that. It's terrible. It's horrifying. And when you go to the extent of setting up tip lines, I'm sorry, I will never trust you. Never. And when you flip-flop on cases like this and do that stuff, nope. I don't fuck with anybody from TikTok. The TikTok twits, I post cats, mini cows, and stupid shit. Hey, Kay. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, y'all, I'm getting out of here. Yes, Twist, 100%. Thank you, mods, for all of your being here. Yeah, B, that's what I just heard. I did last night when I got the screenshots last night, it was up to 12. I was on the phone with Duchess. Me and Duchess were on the phone for almost 4 hours last night, like going over all sorts of fucking crazy shit that is happening. And I was getting sent screenshots as we were talking. And we were talking about life and shit, like just decompressing and talking about every fucking thing that's going on. And we're chatty, okay? We both have a lot to say. But I'm getting sent screenshots, so I'm sending them to her, and I'm like, no, look at your phone right now. Like, going back and forth. Like, I was blown away with it. And a big part of me is happy about it because that's great. But I also, it makes me really sad because why aren't they doing this for any other child than Sebastian? If they call themselves true crime, why is Sebastian the only story that they're worried about? And Sebastian needs to be brought home, but there's 39 kids on the Tennessee. There's way more than 39, but there's 39 that have been significantly missing that are in the same categories as Sebastian currently of missing children. There's some from the very same area, Goodlettsville and stuff, that are missing, that have been missing in the time frame and you don't see anybody covering those cases. You know how much good we could do if that was divided out and all of that was put out? Good night, Rocky. Good night, Twist.
Good night, Twist.
Again, all kids, everybody deserves, but this is not genuine about Sebastian, and that's what makes me sad. It's about this game, and it's sad. It's truly sad if these people really cared about Sebastian, and I'm not expecting them to say they love him and stuff like that, but it's became a game. It's a game. You have a Coke and Gatorade going, Peg? Twist, I'm trying. Oh, I would though. I would because I actually grew up on the Flathead Indian reservation in I lived there for quite some time. He's not a blood uncle of mine who is a tribal court judge still there for the Salish Kootenai tribes. It's unfortunate. MMIW do not get enough attention whatsoever. There are so many missing. In Browning, Montana, they have a board where they keep track, and it's so filled with missing people and unsolved. Like, I would believe how many are missing, unfortunately. It's so sad. Like, and I'm so thankful for Arctic, Duchess, other people who share the missing and awareness cases. I could never keep up with what they do. They do incredible jobs, and I'm so thankful for them. Everybody has a purpose, but it's just sad. It's really, truly sad. Yes, Nash. Yes. Great idea. Duchess, somebody was talking about a story from Chasing. Was it Chasing that was doing from Myrtle, that area today? North Carolina, South Carolina. I think it was her. Hey, Kathy 4. I'm just getting out of here. I'm just giving Peg time to pick or choose a Coke or a Gatorade. Duchess does an incredible job, you guys. Revival, what are you talking about? What's Revival doing in the comments? Revival's throwing herself at people. What? Like a ping pong ball? A dodgeball? What are we doing here? Oh, no shit, Duchess. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Saturday Search. Yeah, absolutely, Patricia. 100%. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to get off here because I got to go get kiddos off to bed. Even though they don't have school tomorrow, they still stay on a routine. The one's probably already ready for bed. She got 5 books. That was you. Okay, Chasing, I thought it was, but then I was like, God damn. I popped in, listened for a minute, and then popped out. But I was like, oh, I think it was Chasing. But my brain gets fried. Some days like today, my brain it doesn't work. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to let Alana tell you if she's still awake. Hey, come tell them about your books. What books did you get today in the mail?
A Hero and Kagra.
Okay, whoa, slow down. Slow down. Talk so they can hear you.
I got Hero and Kagra, Komi Can Communicate, and Naruto.
What? Are you speaking English?
Yeah.
What? Oh, they're all animated. That's why I don't understand it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. How many did you get?
I got 5 books. 3 of them are Hero and Kagra, one's Komi Can Communicate, and one's Naruto.
Have you started reading any of them?
I read all of them already.
You read all of them? No.
Like a while ago.
Oh, you've already read them, but you just bought them because you liked them?
I love them.
You love them, so you're just collecting books now? Is that what you're doing?
I'm reading them as well.
Oh, you're reading them again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I still haven't finished my Naruto book. It's huge and it has a lot of characters in it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character? Has it changed yet?
Killa.
Okay. It's still the same. All right. Can I show him your collection?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna show you the collection. Oh, hold on. She's gotta put the other ones in there really quick. Hold on.
Becky, do you know that anyone goes to this?
We need to get you a bigger bookshelf, kiddo.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, we need to get you a bigger bookshelf. Okay, hold on. Dexter, get out of the way.
I have 26 plus 5 equals.
This is all books that she's
all
bought.
books.
She's bought all of these since the summer
Also,
with her
go
own
that
money.
way. Go that way.
That's one.
And from right here to over there, I bought.
She's bought all of these with her allowance. That's her. She loves books. She is obsessed with books. She got them in the mail today from Amazon, and she got so excited. She was hopping around and she's like, Aaliyah, look. Yeah, that's my baby. That's the baby. That's the baby of the family. She's adorable. She's the sweetest freaking. They're just so sweet, but they love to read. They are so funny. Oh, hold on. I'm going to see. Where's Aaliyah? She might be in the shower. Hold on. I'll find her book and share it with you guys right quick. So the one is a reader and the other one's an artist. And she's been doing these like doodle things. It's really cute. They're really cool. Let me see. Is this your sister's book? Yeah, it is. Okay. It's just these little intricate things. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera on, so don't come this way for a minute, okay? Thank you. Hold on. Yes, Revival, please do. She just doodles.
No.
She just doodles and doodles. Grandma came over today. Kyle's mama came over today to bring her pajamas that she got her for her birthday. But she's got this little book that so one likes to read and one likes to doodle and listen to music. Oh, Nana, tell him what you've been teaching yourself to do. Do you want to play a couple chords on there for him before I end?
I still haven't bought.
You got to have Kenzie help you do that.
Yeah, I know.
She found an app to teach. Hold on. Okay. She is trying to teach herself, okay? She's got an acoustic guitar.
Is this an acoustic guitar?
Yeah. Well, it's not an electric guitar. Remember the other night when I was live? And I kept thinking, am I losing my mind or am I hearing a strumming of a guitar? Alana likes to read, but she's also trying to teach herself how to play guitar. So
Play Stairway.
she will be able to pretty soon. Oh, there she goes. She's strumming her guitar. I shared your drawings with them and they said, incredible job.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thanks, friends.
What's with your picture?
Huh?
What's with that?
That's me.
That's a weird picture.
That's a weird picture of me.
Yes.
I know. That just made me that. I should let you draw me. No, that's probably scary. Never mind.
No.
Let's not try that.
I always feel like drawing really cool patterns.
All right, you guys. Do you hear us strumming? Yep. So we're learning to play acoustic guitar. We read and we're drawing. So that's our thing. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I hope tomorrow, if you don't have to work, if you have the day off, you do something for yourself. Remember, self-care is so important, especially in this stuff. It's so toxic. It's so heavy. Because at the end of the day, no matter where you land on this stuff, you can't walk away from it and not realize that this is real families, and any one of us could be in these shoes. Any one of our loved ones could be in these shoes. Anybody could be affected this way. And we're watching it happen further and further every day. And it's truly sad. And unfortunately, there's no end in sight. So we just have to keep on being the assholes and talking about it and let people call it drama. I don't give a fuck what somebody calls it. When you have the balls to step up and do the same shit, we can have a conversation. Until then, I'll stay in my lane being an asshole on YouTube. You can call it whatever you want. Good night, everybody. Stay safe out there. Fast car. Terry wants fast car. I'll get her to learn that one in maybe like a year or two. Good night, y'all.